Forecast today mostly sunny, a high of 77 by the lake and 85 inland. Tonight partly cloudy skies with an isolated shower possible, a low of 61. Sunday mostly sunny, a high of 72 by the lake and 80 inland. Monday a chance for showers and storms, humid, a high of 77 by the lake and 79 degrees inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 53 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:06.
This is the Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC. Need help around the house? Even the handiest do-it-yourselfer needs an extra hand sometimes. Let Home Inspector David Nason help you out during the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
And the Fix-It Show is sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction. Dave Kane out today. I'm Libby Collins, and we're here along with David Nason.
Good morning, Libby. Good morning, everybody. I'm back after being gone last week, but looking forward to a good show.
And you're already starting to look tan.
I was out in the sun a little bit.
I can tell. Yeah. I can tell. Well, joining us to talk about somebody who's looking good, Jason Fox from Capital Heating and Cooling and Electric. And I bet a lot of people are thinking about turning that air on today, especially when they hear if you're inland, it might be as warm as 85 degrees.
Well, we're getting that time of year, right? So thank God.
Yeah, right. Yes.
I'm not a fan of winter, so I'm happy.
Yes, I'm with you there. And I've been testing air conditioners during inspections now. Woo. People can't say, "Oh, you can't check that air conditioning." Nope.
Plenty warm, yeah. I guess next week we're back in the 50s, though. I thought I saw in the forecast.
But I'll still be checking them at this point because in the spring when they're still really cold, they're like a block of ice over the winter. Well, now they've warmed up and everything, so
you should no problems.
We get into the 50s, we'll still run it.
Well, if you haven't had it on yet, what's the first thing you ought to do?
Well, it's a good time to make sure that if you covered it up, you uncover it, right? So that's the step one, because we don't want to run it with the cover on. That'll definitely shorten the lifespan of it. And then, test it out, so turn the power back on, uncover it, and then, turn it on and see is it working, right? The air typically is going to feel cool regardless, but you want to go outside and make sure the fan's spinning. Do you hear the stuff running? If it's not, well, then give us a call and we'll come out and take a look at it.
What are some of the specific signs that you need an air conditioning repair?
It's not cold in your house.
Right. Yeah. Or like you said, the fan's not running.
Fan's not right. I mean, the big thing is, number one, change your filter. If you're listening, please, if you haven't changed your filter, because filters will definitely cause some problems for you. But yes, obviously, if it's not keeping temperature, or if it's taking too long to get to temperature, right? So sometimes, it's like taking forever to cool it down. Usually, let's say you came home and your house was 80 degrees, 1 degree per hour is a realistic expectation, sometimes more depending on how everything's running in size, but 1 degree per hour is pretty good when its house has not been conditioned and it's humid and everything. But if your house is holding at certain temperature, it should maintain that temperature without any issue. So if your thermostat's set to 75 and the house has been buttoned up and it's been running and it's continuing to climb in temperature in your house, you probably got some kind of issue going on.
Yeah, and if it frosts up on the outside?
Yeah, you should not see any frost or ice anywhere on the system. That means that there's definitely a problem.
What if you have certain areas of the house that seem a little warmer than others?
Well, you have probably some things going on, right? Your house should be balanced if everything's designed properly. Now, you could have duct leakage going on. You could have maybe a damper that's closed. Or you could have short cycling happening in the system where the system's turning off and on too frequently to get the air properly mixed up in the home. Or what we find in most homes is the system isn't breathing properly, right? So
what do you mean it's not breathing properly?
So a system...
You haven't been listening to his commercials. I'm kidding.
So if you... you go to the doctor, you get your blood pressure, right? And your blood pressure can't be too high or too low. Your system is the exact same thing. It needs a certain amount of pressure to operate properly. If it's too low, it's not going to get to the ends. If it's too high, it's actually starving for air, and it's not going to work properly either. And that's where you end up with, if it's out of whack, that's where you end up with shortened life, high utilities, you're not comfortable. All those things are a cause of that, right? So it's a system that has to work and be balanced throughout the entire house and work in a certain manner according to how the manufacturer designed it. And if it's not doing that, well, you're going to have all these other results that you don't know, right? So that's where you end up with these bills that are high, or you're placing it way before it should, or you're having all these repairs. Usually it comes back to how it's breathing.
Well, and those are all symptoms. of a bigger problem. And it's just, you're talking about breathing. Well, we think we're breathing. Well, if you have issues, other symptoms, aches or whatever, it's usually a problem relating to something else. So you got to take care of the whole unit.
You have to be holistic.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, it's not just one thing or that, or it's like buying a new furnace won't do any good. We've had customers that have come to us. They bought a new furnace from somebody else, and their bills went up. Well, yes, because the new equipment's even more sensitive to the breathing properly, and it's trying to compensate for something that it's never going to compensate for. So yes, until you fix these issues, your utilities won't come down, right? So lower utilities isn't always about the piece of equipment you put in. It's about how the system is working, and that's how it. If you need to move. Let's say you need to move 1,000 units of air and you're moving 400. Well, obviously it's going to be harder to heat and cool and take longer and all these other problems because you're never going to get that in balance. So no piece of equipment's ever going to overcome that.
All right, we're here with Jason Fox. He, of course, is with Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric, and that means you have an opportunity to get through as well on the WTMJ Talk and Text line. That number is 855-616-1620. David Nason's here as well,
right. And
we're taking your calls and your questions, and maybe you've tried to fire up that AC, and you're hearing a noise. There's something that doesn't feel right, or maybe the house doesn't feel cool enough because you're going to need it this summer. So you might want to give us a call, and Jason can help you out right here on the Fix It Show. And speaking of the weather, it is going to be a really beautiful day today, but those temperatures are going to get up there. 77 if you're near the lake, as high as 85 if you're inland. Right now, it is 54 degrees at 7:13 on WTMJ.
Miss any of the truth on WTMJ?
I'm representing the bull.
Maybe there's something wrong with me.
Catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts and catch up on moments like this.
Yesterday on mountain, I am a mighty little man. I am a mighty. I love me some Young Shelby.
Oh my God.
And listen to the truth on WTMJ every Sunday from 7 until 9 with Dr. Ken Harris and Denise Thomas. Right here on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Are you in the market for a new roof, but overwhelmed at how to start the process? Well, here's a suggestion. Go with Tri-County Contracting. Installing roofs since the 70s, this family-owned company works for you. Stop by their showroom in New Berlin or go to TriCountyContractingWI.com. You don't want a process that takes forever. Tri-County Contracting makes it easy, from getting the estimate to getting that brand new roof. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you the farm essentials you need because we get you. From baler twine to tractor fluid and everything in between, we get you the right products at the right prices. Like 50-pound bags of AgriMaster 16% layer crumble poultry feed, $13.49. 10% off Royal Purple automotive fuel cleaners and additives. Herculiner brush-on bed liner kits, $74.99. And Turtle Wax car care chemicals, $5.99 each. We get you the farm essentials you need because we get you. At Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. We agree, right? Potholes stink. Now, recent weather means this could be one of the worst years yet. Johnson & Sons Paving is up to the challenge. This team has over 2 decades experience. When potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving will patch them up or replace the whole parking lot. Take a look at johnsonsonspaving.com. Sign a parking lot paving contract before May 31st, and you might just get me out on the job site working with the crew. Find full contest details at WTMJ.com/contests.
Live life to the fullest at the Enjoy Life Active Aging Symposium. This free, fun, and uplifting day for older adults 55 plus includes speakers, exhibitors, and much more. John McGivern is the keynote speaker, and there will be pickleball, a self-defense class, breakfast, and raffles. The Enjoy Life Active Aging Symposium, June 11th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Brookfield Conference Center. Presented by Capri Communities, Southeast Wisconsin's top choice for senior living. Register early at enjoylifesymposium.com.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Now I can have all the cookouts and get-togethers in my backyard with a little bit of extra shade and relaxation for my guests. Comfort Awnings is a local family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They always have the best specials going, so make sure to give them a call at 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
From a leaky pipe to finishing your basement, The Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
And Dayton Kane's off today on What He Counts, along with David and Mason. This hour, we're joined by Jason Fox from Capital Heating and Cooling and Electric, and we've got questions coming in already on the WTMJ Talk and Text line. Here's one for you, Jason. So this gentleman is fixing their unfinished basement. They have a 2-year-old home. And they want to know if cold air returns are required by code in basements in the state. They say only 2 rooms are going to have a door on them. The rest is going to be an open concept. So they think there's going to be pretty good air movement.
So you don't need a cold air return in every room. That's not a required code, but for finishing a basement, you are required to bring in fresh air. If you don't have enough operable window space compared to the floor space, there's a calculation that has to be done there. And then you're required to have mechanical ventilation. So you have to exhaust air out of there too as well if you don't meet that, right? Because you have to bring the fresh air code like you would have upstairs. Now, if you have enough operable windows and things like that, then you can get around that part of the code. But the biggest thing that people do with basements is they finish these amazing, beautiful basements, and they never put a zone of temperature control down there, right? Yeah. So you don't need air conditioning down there, right? So in the summertime when air conditioning is running upstairs and the rest of the house, you want to make sure that you don't dump all that cold air in the basement because it's already going to be cool. But the biggest thing is you go to use that basement the rest of the time, and it's usually around 60 degrees, right, or 55, 60, somewhere in there. Well, what happens is your thermostat's upstairs, and it's 70, and the basement never really gets above that, so people cut vents in and do all this stuff. Yeah. And it never works, right? So my always recommendation is put some type of heating zone, whether you do a separate mini split or something like that for it, or maybe a gas fireplace if you're just going to turn that on while you're down there. Electric baseboard, or if you already have a furnace, you don't need to change the size of it. You can just add a zone to the furnace, zone that separately, and then you always will be comfortable down there because we get this like a complaint all the time. You spent $100,000 or whatever on your basement, and then you go down there and freeze.
Yeah, I'm surprised they allow a basement window to be part of the calculation for that, because more and more, unless you have a partially exposed basement with some windows a little lower, I believe in Wisconsin, they're only required to have one basement window, and it's usually somewhere over by the mechanicals areas or something. So, and it's way up high. Nobody's opening that window.
Well, it's I can't remember the exact number. I always have to look it up. I think it's like 3% of the floor space. You have to have fresh air, openable windows, and then natural light and all this stuff if you have a bedroom. But most basements don't meet the criteria, so you end up with a mechanical ventilation. So you can do it through an exhaust fan and a fresh air intake into the furnace, or a lot of times what we do these days is the ERV ventilator that runs all the time, and it's always bringing the fresh air in, stale air out, and then we put some type of heating zone in for it so that it's comfortable. Yeah. The other thing is if you are going to put some type of forced air zone in, the cold air return needs to be as low to the floor in the basement as possible because cold air falls. Yeah. So what'll happen is if it's not, you're gonna, this probably you've been in houses like this. You walk in and your body's comfortable, but your feet are always freezing. Well, it's because all that cold air is sitting on the floor, and there's nothing to suck it up and bring it back into the system, right? So you want to get those cold air returns especially in a basement, as low as possible to the floor to pull that air off the floor and create the circulation. So that you're comfortable down there.
Yeah. You mentioned something that maybe not everybody knows, an ERV.
Energy recovery ventilator.
There you go.
What is it again? Energy what?
Energy recovery ventilator. And actually we use HRVs more up here than ERVs. I can never remember the term on that one. But basically
I think it's just a heat recovery ventilator.
That's what it is, yes. So the difference is the ERV exchanges humidity, the HRV does not exchange humidity. So an HRV in our climate usually works better.
So it basically just helps with air ventilation, using outside air and exhausting inside air, and it makes your furnace work more efficiently.
Yep, exchange the temperature between the two so that you're always keeping it less energy usage. And then that provides your fresh air, which is the number one cause. Actually, even your whole house, most people's homes don't have enough fresh air in them, regardless. So it's actually a benefit all around.
Because a lot of people don't open their windows.
Exactly.
Well, let's dirt in.
You don't open your windows, and eventually they can't open, and then you got to replace them because you're not taking care of your windows. But that's a whole nother
topic.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Jason Fox here, and maybe you do have some questions about, especially this time of year, you're thinking about that AC, but also those vents and keeping those clean. We're going to talk a little bit about that and so much more with Jason on the Fix It Show with David Nason on WTMJ. And if you'd like to get through on the WTMJ talk and text line, that line's open right now, 855-616-1620. It's going to be a warm one. You are going to be thinking about AC today, particularly if you're inland, because we're talking about those temperatures getting to the mid-80s and certainly in the upper 70s if you're close to the lake. 55 degrees at 721 on WTMJ.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, summer painting can be brutal. If you're tired of painting year after year, go Rhino. One homeowner said they had a contemporary stucco finish with fading paint that was starting to look like garbage. So they went with Rhino Shield after discovering it's better than paint. Thanks to Rhino Shield, they saw savings on their energy bills. And your home's exterior doesn't matter. Wood, brick, steel, and even vinyl. You won't have to paint again for 25 years, guaranteed. Now until June 21st, get 15% off with 12 months same as cash financing. Visit rhinoshieldwis.com or call 262-327-6261.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Well, I would say some of the biggest challenges to building American-made furniture is competing with low overseas wages. America has higher wages.
Ben and Arvid Huth from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
It's still a big benefit to make it in the United States because even though labor costs are higher, we all know the American worker is the most efficient, most productive worker in the world, especially employees in the Midwest. Midwest people are renowned for their work ethic. There's advantages to that outweigh extra labor cost. And there's also a lot of other advantages. Freight costs are way cheaper if it's made locally.
If you build furniture in China and you send it to the Midwest, it's 8,000 miles to get here. And in order to make that travel, you have to be well packaged, heavy cardboard, lots of foam, lots of bubble wrap. We don't do any of that.
Not very environmentally friendly.
No, not very environmentally friendly if you're concerned about that, but we just use a blanket, right? Our furniture travels from the wood shop to our warehouse and right to the customer. And everything's touched by our people. We have no third party touching any of that, so we can control that quality.
PennyMustard.com.
Yard work, playing with the kids, getting back out on the boat, things that should be enjoyable, not painful. Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic, where I've been seeing Dr. Alex Young and his team for nearly a year. My neck, back, and shoulder feeling so much better. It's not just that. Did you know regular chiropractic care can help with sciatica, vertigo, great for athletes, and all without twisting, cracking, or popping? Connect Chiro Docs use a special tool for all the adjustments so there's no discomfort. Learn more or book your first appointment now at Go Connect Chiro. That's GoConnectChiro.com.
Why settle for just the job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
Now, back to the Fix It Show on 620 WTMJ.
Ooh, in case you're wondering about that Capital Club giveaway, just stick around. It's going to happen.
Oh, we got to always give away something, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, because Jason Fox is here from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric, along with David Nason. I'm Libby Collinson for Dayton. And let's see, we've got some lines open here on the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Here's a question for you. Does a permit have to be pulled to add zone to the furnace for a basement?
Well, so if you're going to do a ductwork extension, you would need a ductwork permit. Yes. So you do need a permit to do ductwork. So
now, is that so, if you were going to do the work,
yep.
Would you guys pull the
permit? We're one stop, right? So if we come into your house to do any type of work, we're one point of contact. We do everything. We don't subcontract everything. We have everything in house. But we're an end-to-end solution. The only thing we don't do is show up for your inspection. We give you the information and you set it up at your convenience. So this inspector can come out and take a look at everything, because there's if you're doing your basement, you have a rough inspection and then a final. So ours on the rough inspection, they're going to see everything they need to see. The final would be just installing some grills, which they're not really going to say much about. But if you're doing your basement and you have a permit, there's a lot of calculations you need to do too. So which we can help with.
Yeah. You can't, just so people know, you can't add a zone without adding ductwork.
Yeah,
Really,
well, and you're gonna have you have to split off the upstairs, so
Right.
you might have additional zones you're creating, right? So either like a lot of times if you have a 2-story house, it's a good time just to zone the whole thing. So top floor, first floor, and then basement, or you can even split it up, in a few different areas if you want to. The zoning is obviously you're gonna heat and cool that zone differently than you're gonna do a different zone, and stratification of different stories are gonna have different stuff. So
I would think that adding zones, it's going to add cost, obviously, but in the long run, do you save money with your electric and your air conditioning bill because you have the zones?
yeah, so like my house is carved into I think 4 zones, but you think about it as like my wife works from home. Well, we don't need to heat and cool our whole house, so our one zone is kind of like where the area she's working during the day, so that zone's always comfortable. And the rest of the house just kind of does what it's going to do, right? So it kind of just bleeds. So you're using less energy and less things like that, rather than conditioning the whole home just for one person being there.
Yeah, and I've had people ask me, so we're talking about zones, so you're typically using one source of heat or cooling, so one furnace, one AC unit. If you have multiple furnaces, then you can do what I'm getting. But people say, so if I have a zone system, can I heat my basement and cool my second floor at the same time? No, you can't.
Not at the same time, no.
If you're using the same
appliance.
appliance.
Same appliance. If you had separate appliances, yes.
Yeah, if you had 2 furnaces, one could be heating and one could be cooling.
Yep.
But you can't do it with one.
All right. Well, we're coming up here at 7:28 right now. What time do you open today?
We don't close.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
So let's just say, we're open 24/7, same day repair, 7 days a week. You always will get a live person answering the phone, right? It's not going to push a button and leave a message and all that stuff. So we're around 24/7, located in Menominee Falls, serve all of southeastern Wisconsin. And if you have a home where we can help you with all of your heating, cooling, or electrical needs.
You're out in Madison now, too, right?
Not yet.
Oops. I think we talked about that last time, that you're working on that.
We're working on expanding our footprint. Okay. Yes.
Well, let's give that phone number.
So you can give us a call right now at 414-662-0950. That's 414-662-0950.
And you got a pretty extensive website, too. You got a lot of information on that.
Yep, capitalhvac.com. You can chat with us there. You can book your own appointments if you know what you need, or you can shop there, right? So if maybe you're thinking about getting a new furnace, air conditioner, something like that, not really ready to talk to someone, but want to kind of get some ideas and some pricing, you can go online and can do a free quoting tool there and kind of get some direction on what it looks like. And then when you're ready, we'll come out and talk to you.
All right. Well, that's why Jason Fox is here today. He's here to talk to you. So if you want to get through on the WTMJ talk and text line, that line's open at 855-616-1620. And coming up here in about, maybe about 15 minutes or so, we're going to have a giveaway. And when Jason Fox is here, there's only one thing we give away, and that's a Capital Club giveaway. So stick around for that. But before we do anything else, here we are coming up to 7:30 and the WTMJ Breaking News Center. We have Jessica Gatso. Jess?
Thanks, Libby. The wait is over for senior athlete Josh Awunali. Campbellsport High School track and field coach Derek Toshner tells WTMJ the WIAA determined Awunali will be allowed to participate at the regional track meet on Monday. Awunali was originally deemed ineligible to compete in varsity events because his parents live in Ghana. The family worked with immigration lawyers to provide paperwork to prove that his father cannot come back to the U.S. because of an issue with his visa. Check that cream cheese label if you shop at Aldi or Hy-Vee. Both stores are recalling cream cheeses with the Happy Farms label due to potential salmonella contamination. The products include whipped cream cheese spread, chive and onion cream cheese spread, and strawberry cream cheese spread with sell-by dates between August 30th and September 22nd. If you have one of these products, you should throw it away or return it to the store for a refund. Another Piggly Wiggly store has closed its doors in Wisconsin. This time, it's the store in Brookfield's Elmbrook Plaza, which the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports will have its last day on June 15th. It's the third Piggly Wiggly store to shut down in southeast Wisconsin since the beginning of 2023. Malicky's Piggly Wiggly in Racine closed in March due to a lease dispute, and the store on Capitol Drive in Milwaukee closed in January 2023. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Looks like we've got a disabled vehicle blocking a lane on 43 northbound right now. That's at Good Hope Road. And just, again, a disabled vehicle to look out for on the right lane of 43 north at Good Hope.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
And taking a look at your WTMJ forecast, today mostly sunny, a high of 77 by the lake and 85 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a chance for an isolated shower, a low of 61. On Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 72 by the lake and 80 inland. Monday, a chance for showers and storms, humid, a high of 77 by the lake and 79 inland. On Tuesday, showers and storms likely and still humid, a high of 75 by the lake and 79 degrees inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 55 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:32.
And that's the best thing about Capital's AC Beyondification.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Hey, Merle, what you got? What's this? A screenplay?
Let me see this. Captain Capital, Heat and Air Hero.
That's so awesome, Merle.
Hang on. I've been writing a screenplay like this.
For years.
It's an epic, and it's Capital Man, not Captain Capital. Yes, of course he restores your air conditioner to like new condition.
Says here, Captain Capital has a deep clean device.
Aha! Capital Man deep cleans your system with his laser beam hands.
What?
I'm developing a sidekick. He always does the comprehensive safety checks. You wrote yourself in as the sidekick?
As long as it gets across how Capital's AC Beyondification saves the day.
And how you want to do it before summer hits.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it's great.
Laura, Seth, I need a moment with Merle, please.
Schedule your AC Beyondification today online at callcapitalcares.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was time for us. Our house was 20 plus years old, and the garage doors were getting dated. They were dinged up, and they were really hurting the value and the look of our house. That's why we called J.D. Griffiths, a local company. They've been at it in Milwaukee for more than 70 years, providing premier garage doors and building detached garages. We've got our new doors now, and they pop. I still got neighbors talking to me about it. Now, J.D. Griffiths does have an exclusive offer right now for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you can save $100 on your garage door opener. Just call 414-362-7222 and mention me, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead, or fill out the form at jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ to schedule your free at-home estimate and claim your deal. That number again, 414-362-7222. J.D. Griffiths.
This is the Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
And I'm Libby Collins, and for Dayton Kane, we've got Jason Fox here along with David Mason. And of course, we have you on our WTMJ Talk and Text line at 855-616-1620. Stick around. We've got a little giveaway we're going to be getting to
the world's
in a couple
greatest
minutes.
club. We're gonna get a new member.
Oh, yay! All right. Well, speaking of clubs, somebody here, they have a question for you, Jason. They want to know if you do furnace and air conditioning tune-ups.
Sometimes, no.
Every day.
Every day we do. So we actually do 7 days a week, right? So
Even
we call
on Sunday.
Even on Sunday, yes. We have technicians that one thing about being a large organization, not everyone wants to work Monday through Friday because some people have other obligations in their family or maybe daycare and all this different stuff. So we're pretty fortunate that we have technicians that want to work on Saturdays and want to work on Sundays because they need off during the week. So we're a 7 day a week true operation. The only thing we don't do 7 days a week is our installation, but we in-home consultations, duct cleaning, duct sealing. Our maintenance and our repairs, all that stuff is 7 days a week. So, but yes, we don't do just your typical maintenance, though. We call it a beyondification, right? Because anyone can come out and do some stuff on your equipment to make and maintain it, but there's really a lot more than just the basic maintenance a manufacturer would recommend. Of course, we do all that stuff, but we're going to take it further, right? We're going to look at the how your system is breathing. We're going to look at the true efficiency of the system and say, okay, with software, we can actually look at it all and know, like, how is it actually performing as a whole system in a unit and everything like that. We're, of course, going to look at your ductwork for duct leakage and if it needs to be cleaned and things like that and inspect all those things because that's part of having us in your home, right? But we do that also with the support of a big staff behind them. So no technician's ever in your house by himself. We actually use tools to make sure that he's checking everything the right way. But if he's having an issue or needs additional resources, we have resources in our office, and then we actually also have a remote resource as well that we can pull up any information on your equipment in your home, like your manuals, whatever it is, to make sure that everything is running the way it's supposed to be, right? Because that's why you bring us in your house, is to know what's going on, because you don't want to have that breakdown when it's 100 degrees outside or 90 degrees outside or it's minus 10, right? So we really take those beyondifications very seriously, very much detailed work, right? And want to make sure that we don't miss anything, that everything is running as best as it can possibly run. And then if it's not, we'll give you recommendations for that, right? So that's why we call it beyondification. It's at least 2 hours of work. We're going to, when we clean your air conditioner, we take it all apart and we wash it out really good and everything like that. It's not just spraying a hose at it or anything like that. We're going to go through every part and piece to make sure it's the right way.
Sounds good to me. That's beyond what most people expect, right?
Exactly.
That's
so
why you do it.
That's exactly it. So, the big thing is if you don't want to order the beyondifications one at a time, which they're $199 each, right? Sometimes we have some specials. You can be a part of the world's greatest club, right? And the world's greatest club, you get 2 of those a year. You get one for your cooling system and one for your heating system. Now, some people want to have both of those maintenances done at the same time. We can certainly do that, but usually they spread those apart throughout the year. And so you get both of those, right? So that's $199 times 2, right? And then you also get $400 worth of capital cash that you can use every year. So if you need to buy a new air conditioner or furnace, you can use it towards that, or maybe you want to improve the air quality in your home, right? We have a number of the things we can do to improve your indoor air quality. We can give you $400 capital cash to use towards that. If you happen to need repair, we come out and be a beyondification. Maybe there's a part that's wore out, needs to be replaced or something like that. We'll give you 20% off those repairs. If your ductwork needs to be cleaned, we can give you 10% off of that as well. So you get all these great benefits, right? And you also get an inspection from our electrical master electrician to come out, and he'll do a free electrical inspection in your house to make sure everything's safe and ready to go, right? So you get all these great benefits for this world's greatest club you have, right? Everyone's like, well, how much is it to join? Well, it's $48 to join. It's $24 a month. You get services immediately, and you don't have to worry about it ever again. We'll call you when it's time. We'll remind you, and we'll always be there for you 24/7. And if you need an emergency, doesn't matter the day, if it's Christmas, if it's 4th of July, if it's Monday, you pay $49 for us to come out, and we're there with priority service.
I got to ask you this then. So let's say there's a really big heat wave. You're getting a lot of people who have air conditioning problems. And if you just call you and somebody else calls from the club, who gets service first?
Well, club members always have priority, right? Because they're part of our family, and they want that service. They want that priority. So you always will have priority.
So you'll still come out even if you're not a member of the club.
Oh yeah, we'll come out no matter what. But the club members are a guaranteed service level, right? So because they're part of this membership, right? They're paying for these services that we offer them, so they're always guaranteed to have us out. But the good thing about being part of the club, when it's super hot like that, we get very few calls because we've come out and done all the things on the front end. So the system is running the way it should. Because the last thing you want to do is call me because you're hot and your system's not working. You want to be able to turn the thermostat on and live your life, right? That's the whole point of having it all done ahead of time. So, it works out really good, and I feel like we should probably give one of these away.
You think we should, Jason?
I think we should.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, normally we give one away, right? And my staff is kind of on me a little bit, and they're like, one's not enough. You got to give more than one. I'm like, how about 2? And they're like, how about 4? And I was like, all right, fine. So we're actually going to give away 4 today. But
we're going to give away 4.
We're going to give away 4, but you're not going to call here. We're going to have you text the office because we want to make sure we can get you guys set up right away. So this way we're not bearing everybody here. So if everyone's ready, I have a phone number. We have a phone number.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to text, right? So you're going to text the word club, CLUB, right? And you're going to text to 414-214-0184. So that's the word club to 414-214-0184. So Tyler is in the office today, and Tyler will, when you text in, he's going to call you back, right? He's going to call you back one at a time, so it may take him a few minutes. And he will get you all signed up, and you get a 1-year membership for free. So,
and this is the first 4 people.
First 4
who
people.
Text in.
Yep.
All right. So once more, let's give that phone number.
Sure. It's 414-214-0184, and it's the word club, CLUB. So just text the word club to that number, and you'll get a response back. So it's and then you'll know that we received it, right? It'll text you back. And then Tyler will be reaching out to get you all set up, and it's 100% free for the first year. So you're going to get the 2 visits, you get all the benefits, and it won't cost you anything as a gift from us to you, and welcome to the family.
Wow. I don't think you've ever done that many before, have you?
No, but my staff is always pushing me to. They're like, we need more people, and I'm like, well, people can join,
right? Yeah.
But
it's a club you definitely want to belong to.
It's definitely a club you want to belong to. So.
All right. One last time in case they didn't get that number.
Sure, it's 414-214-0184, and you want to text the word club, and then Tyler will get back to you and get you all taken care of and scheduled up, and we'll get you services right away. If we got this hot weather, let's get you taken care of this next week so we can make sure you're nice and comfortable.
Oh, Jason Fox, you're like Santa Claus in May. This is fantastic. All right, well, we've got some lines open for you. If you've got some questions for Jason on the WTMJ Talk and Text line, that number is 855-616-1620. And yes, it is going to be a warm one today. We're looking at sunny skies and temperatures around 77 if you're at the lake. 85 as you're going further inland, and right now that temperature's going up already. We're at 59 degrees at 7:42 on WTMJ.
When you come to our showroom, you'll find more than a dozen glass shower door displays. Now that's what you're going to want to see, because browsing a bunch of options usually spurs ideas that you've never even thought of. And when you walk around with one of our glass shower door experts, you can ask questions and get assurance. We're here to help. And after nearly 50 years in the glass shower door business, there's not a whole lot we haven't seen. So don't worry, your project's about to be put in the very best of hands. At Les's Glass Service, you can count on our experience that makes it easy to promise top-flight installation. Glass shower doors are our specialty, and we're out there humping it every day to add to our portfolio to make the next project even better than the last. This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Not only did we receive a fair offer, but we were able to take as much time as we needed and could leave the house a mess.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Quality heating. Heat pumps have been the norm down south, but they're new up here. And I'm a big advocate for them. They're far more efficient than conventional AC systems and serve as a backup to your furnace too. They don't use gas and they're really efficient. And that's why the government basically pays for a big portion of these babies with rebates. So before you install a conventional AC system, ask the man in the red van about an Armstrong air heat pump.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
Manufacturers can void a warranty if annual maintenance can't be proven. Having a preventive maintenance agreement on your HVAC system keeps your warranty in check, helps avoid nuisance calls and your system failing at inopportune times. You get 15% off parts and labor on repairs, No trip charges, discounted pricing for replacements, and priority service. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. See the man in the red van about a preventive maintenance agreement starting at only $25.50 per month.
Quality heating, quality heating.
It's the Fix-It Show, exclusively on 620 WTMJ.
And welcome back. We've got some lines open. WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. David Nason's here along with Jason Fox from Capital Heating and Cooling and Electric.
So we were just talking a little bit off air that in fall, we always talk about putting your air conditioner away for the winter.
Yep.
Covering it, turning the breaker off for a couple of reasons. The thought occurred to me is like we never talk about, do you put your furnace away for the summer?
Ideally, it would be great, but no.
No, right.
Well, and the reason being is your furnace is the motor in the furnace that drives the heat. It also drives the cooling side of it.
The fan is the same fan.
Exactly. So there, you really can't shut that down. I mean, you could turn the gas off to it, but there's really no benefit to that. It's not going to use it. It doesn't, it's not like we have standing pilots and that stuff anymore.
But there are a couple things to check.
Absolutely. So you should have some plastic hoses coming from your furnace. If they're the clear plastic.
It's a high efficient furnace.
Well, even if you have air conditioning, you're still going to have a plastic hose.
Very true.
Right?
Yep.
High efficient, yes, you'll have typically two if it's, or one with some combination things. But so when your air conditioner is running, you're obviously pulling humidity out of the air so that moisture is coming down a drain to a drain somewhere. So you want to check those hoses if if it's clear and you can't see through them, they're all black inside. That's, basically, mold and mildew and growth inside there. And you want to make sure that those things can drain, because if it can't drain, what happens is the water will pool inside of the coil, which then now dumps down in the furnace where your most expensive components are, right? Yeah. So you got motors and circuit boards and all that stuff that don't really like to get wet. So you want to make sure that those are good. Obviously, we always talk about change your filter. Your system needs a clean filter to breathe properly and everything like that. I love Costco, but don't go to Costco and buy your filters because they are way too restrictive there. And use something like a MERV 8, unless you have a really, nice filter that can be used something higher, but MERV 8 is usually pretty good sufficiency for most systems.
So that the hose, the drain hose, they do get a little gunky inside and everything, but that's a symptom of potentially another problem, right?
Well,
your coil's dirty.
Your coil could be dirty, but the thing is it's cold and dark and wet and moist, right? So you have, we're all surrounded by mold spores and all this stuff in the air all the time, right? I mean, it's everywhere, even though we don't realize it. And as soon as you give it a place to grow, it's going to grow in there. Now, when you do a service like when we service AC systems, or what we're going to do is we put a little tablet in the coil inside there, and that helps keep that. It's an algicide, and it helps keep everything kind of clean and flowing and stuff. But yes, you can have dirty coils and things, which then also further impact airflow performance and these other things. So that's some of the stuff we look at and check. But typically, if your coil is dirty on your furnace or on your air conditioner above your furnace, you typically have some type of other issue causing that to do, because it's not supposed to be. If you have a filter and filtered air is going through and your blower wheel's filthy and your coil's filthy and all the other things, well, what's causing all that? Well, it's starving for air, and it's sucking air in from everywhere it can, and all the air it's sucking in is not filtered air, because it should be all coming through the filter before it gets there, right?
So I think we just went full circle to the beginning of the show when we started talking about how your system's breathing, right? That's what it all comes down to, is the whole system.
It's the whole system, and it's everything, and it's an unfortunate part of our industry that not enough contractors spend enough time looking at it and addressing it, but if you actually read any installation manual for any furnace, it'll talk about this, everything I'm talking about in the manual. It'll say if your system is not operating at this, it's called static pressure, right? But if it's not operating at this, don't use it, right? You will cause failures. I mean, some of them even say it'll cause death in there and like things. I'm not saying that on the air, but I'm just saying
you just did.
Literally, I can show you snippets of manual that, like, if the system isn't breathing properly, your heat exchanger could fail. You have all these other components, all this stuff will do, and the number one cause of system failure and premature system failure, that your system doesn't last you 20 years, is the breathing, right? It's the biggest issue that has to be addressed, and so you don't have to do anything, right? But if your car was supposed to get 20 miles a gallon and it was getting 5, you would probably be like, well, it's broken, I need to fix it. It's still driving, but what else is it doing? Well, your furnace is doing that every day, and the money we throw out the window on all these things by trying to buy that fancier thing is usually not actually ever achieved because we don't fix the root cause.
All right. Well, Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric is here with David Nason. And we're going to get back. We've got at least one more text we're going to get to on the Talking Text line. It's all here on the Fix It Show on WTMJ. It's going to be sunny today. We're going to get up to about 77 near the lake, 85 further inland, 59 degrees at 7:50 on WTMJ.
WTMJ is your station to catch all things Brewers. Listen to Bob Uecker. Jeff Leverett.
Struck him out with a changeup.
Lane Grindle.
And it's a called third strike.
And Josh Mauer.
Watch this, baby. Goodbye.
Call every game.
I'm surprised you still have fingernails on that right hand.
And have a little fun.
I got more in my bag.
On your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
As the weather starts warming up, you're probably thinking about the golf course or the lake.
Or that honey-do list.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, you probably don't want to think about painting your house again.
Jeff and Roxanne here with Rhino Shield, and we are the better-than-paint people.
Rhino Shield is an exclusive ceramic coating system that looks just like paint, is applied just like paint, but comes in any color, just like paint.
Especially your wife's favorite.
But it's not paint.
Regular paint is going to last 3 to 5 years. Rhino Shield has been proven to last for at least 25 years.
We are so confident in Rhino Shield that we give you a written 25-year transferable warranty. That's right, transferable warranty.
And you won't have to paint again for 25 years, guaranteed. Now until June 21st, get 15% off with 12 months same as cash financing. Visit RhinoShieldWIS.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
What do you call a sectional that embodies class, beauty, and sophistication?
That's easy, Arvid. We name it after me.
You think it should be called the Ben sectional.
Didn't he say class, beauty, and sophistication?
Yeah.
That's obviously me.
Right.
Actually, somewhere along the way, this sofa was nicknamed the Penny Sectional.
Because it represents everything Penny Mustard strives to be.
It truly is the most magnificent sofa I've ever seen.
The Penny Sectional transforms from a majestic piece of art into one of the most comfortable sofas for casual conversation or reclined relaxation.
Is there anything at Penny Mustard that we can name after me?
How about the men's room?
Nah, that's already named after someone else.
Who?
John.
The Penny Sectional, American-made with ultra-resilient pre-crushed foam and buttery soft top-grain leather options, starting at $62.45 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And that's why when we sell your home, we make sure it shows well before buyers walk in your door. Or quite frankly, they'll walk in through someone else's. At Benefit Realty, quality photography is important to show off the home we're selling in its best light to get them into your home. Quality photos, full MLS marketing to reach every online home shopper, and 3.5 to 3.9% discount commissions. Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com. We are a discount real estate broker, but does that mean we're not full service? At Benefit Realty, you'll get an agent with considerable experience who offers full MLS marketing, covering all the bases to make sure every buyer shopping online sees your home. The only thing separating us from the 6% brokers is just that. They work for 6%, we work for 3.5 to 3.9%. Full service for a lot less. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where we'll make your move simple and affordable. Benefit-realty.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. From a leaky pipe to finishing your basement, The Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
Jason Fox is here along with David Nason. I'm Libby Collins in for Dayton Kane. And Jason, I think we have time for one last question on our talk and text line. Somebody was told by your technician, Jason, not to cover the entire air conditioner in the winter, just the top. Now, is this the way it really should be?
That's as an organization, that's what we believe in, and the reason being is when you wrap up the entire thing really tight and make it a nice thing, you invite critters to come in and have a party all winter long and chew on your wires and all the other stuff. So all we really care about is we want to make sure the snow and debris don't get in the top of the unit, right? So that's why we, like you can do a mesh cover, something that's going to help keep that out, or just, if you don't mind looking at a board and a brick, just to keep it on. Just make sure you take that off before we use the air conditioner.
You could be as anal as I am, and I have a piece of plywood that's cut to fit perfectly on the top.
Of course
and
you do,
it's
David.
Painted gray
to match
my Rheem condenser that they put in a couple years, last year. So, and I bungee it to the side, so I don't have a brick or so and so. But that's just me. So.
Little OCD there.
A little bit, yes. But then also turn the breaker off.
Yes, turn the breaker off so this way you don't accidentally start it with that on there because we don't want to shorten the lifespan of it.
So that should help you tell you, like, I got to turn the breaker on. Oh, I got to take the cover off, too.
And the other thing, too, is by turning the breaker off, you're not going to, even though the unit's not used, it does generate a little bit of power, which generates a little bit of heat, which is an attractant to, when it's below zero outside, the mouse wants to get somewhere warm.
It's enough heat for their little body.
And they're like, look at all this great stuff to chew on.
Well, and here we are. We're going to have a warm weekend. So certainly warming up today to close to 80 and mid-80s further inland. So if you didn't turn the air on, and when you go to turn it on and it's making a noise or maybe it's not cooling, what do we need to do, Jason?
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. Yeah. But what else should we do?
Give us a call. Call us at 414-662-0950. We can get you scheduled with a beyondification, right? So if it worked last year and that, maybe let's just get a maintenance done. Maybe something happened over the winter and we can get it back up and running good. Or if you just want to get a service call set up, we can do the same thing there. You can also go on our website, capitalhvac.com. You can book your own appointments there yourself if you don't want to talk to us, or you can chat with us there, or you can text us there. So it's a wealth of knowledge there. It's easy to get a hold of us. And don't forget about our World's Greatest Club that we gave away today. So in case anyone didn't get that phone number for the World's Greatest Club, you can text the word club, 414-214-0184, 414-214-0184. Text the word club. We were giving away more than one today, so give them a text, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
All right. Well, Jason, it's always great to have you here from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric. And David Nason's going to be back next hour. We're talking pseudopropionate.
Right. Yep. Great to see you again, Jason.
Good to see you guys.
Good conversation today.
Stay cool.
Yes. Right.
And the Fix It Show is sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction.
This has been the Fix It Show on WTMJ, presented by J&B Construction and Siding Unlimited. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Good news, bad news. The good news, inflation today is nothing like it's been in the past few years. The bad news, lower inflation doesn't mean lower prices. Inflation only records the size of price increases. When it goes down, prices are still higher than they were before. In fact, a recent study showed investors still consider inflation their single biggest threat to their investment and retirement plans. We don't blame you if you're concerned about how inflation might affect your legacy, your financial freedom, or your confidence. It's time to meet with the team at Annex Wealth Management for investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary. We'll review what you own. We'll work together to build a plan that's right for you and your family, and we'll guide you on your way to achieving the kind of retirement you desire. Whatever's kickstarting your questions, market volatility, global unrest, an upcoming presidential election, or stubborn inflation, it's time to know the difference. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Are you in need of expert exterior renovations? Look no further than Ridgetop Exteriors. For over 22 years, we've been the trusted name in roofing, siding, windows, doors, and gutter replacements. With a track record of excellence on our Google reviews, we take pride in transforming houses into dream homes. Visit us today at ridgetopexteriors.com for a free consultation. That's ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, your trusted local affordable partners.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
The countdown to the Republican National Convention is on. Keep it tuned here for interviews, headlines, and everything you need to know for the RNC. It's Decision Wisconsin, only here on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8 o'clock, it's 57 degrees. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 77 by the lake and 85 degrees inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Trucks begin carrying desperately needed aid to the newly U.S.-built pier into Gaza today. U.S. military officials say the floating pier project could mean up to 150 truckloads a day will be getting to the besieged Palestinian territory. But that's only a fraction of the 500 truckloads that used to enter Gaza before the war broke out last October. Meanwhile, a Wisconsin nurse practitioner becoming trapped in the city of Rafah. Laura Swoboda was on her medical mission with nonprofit FAJF Scientific. She tells TMJ4 News what happened when the only border crossing for aid workers was taken over by the Israeli military.
Once they said, okay, the convoy's picking us up at 7 a.m., this is our route. These are our checkpoints, and we loaded onto the bus. There was a pretty profound sense of relief. However, that route through Rafah was probably the most danger that we had been in the entire time.
Swoboda has been transported to Jerusalem after negotiations from the U.S. State Department and hopes to fly back to Milwaukee today. Slain teenager Shade Robinson was set to receive her criminal justice studies degree from MATC. Her family will receive that degree on her behalf on Sunday at MATC's graduation ceremony. Robinson was killed and dismembered after a first date in April. Maxwell Anderson is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than a building in connection to Robinson's death. November's general election includes a special election. Voters in northeast Wisconsin will decide who fills the seat formerly occupied by 8th District Congressman Mike Gallagher on November 5th by voting 2 times. The winner of the special general election will take office after that and serve until January 3rd of 2025. Then the winner of the regular general election will take office and serve a standard 2-year term ending in January 2027. Attorney Brandon Hunsaker tells the Wisconsin Election Commission this could confuse voters.
There are different rules that apply to primaries and different rules that apply to regular elections, and having both a special election and a regular election on the same ballot is likely to cause confusion.
If a primary election is needed, that would happen on August 13th. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:03.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Is it time to replace the siding at your house? First off, you got to go to Tri-County Contracting. You can hit up their showroom in New Berlin to check out the vinyl siding and the LP Smart Side they have on display. They'll help you find that siding and the color that you will love. And if you're worried about price, don't forget about the 30-year no-faded paint warranty. Transform your house and increase the value. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Your daily appointment for all things Brewers. From every angle, this is Brewers 360.
Look, this does not put the ball in the hands of Giannis at the end of the game. In baseball, it's got to be up and down the lineup.
Every day at 7:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
This is the show right now, and the competition is pretty stiff.
Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Holiday Automotive.
I love where your head is right there, so we can definitely come up with some fun ideas for sure.
Oh, be careful, man. No, you just
you opened
up Pandora's box here.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making us now Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers continue their series in Houston today after a 5-4 loss to the Astros Friday night. You can tune in for Brewers warm-up at 5 o'clock here on WTMJ. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Still looking at a disabled vehicle blocking a lane on 43 northbound. That's the right lane at Good Hope Road.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Taking a look at your WTMJ forecast. Today, mostly sunny, high of 77 by the lake and 85 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy with a chance for an isolated shower, a low of 61. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 72 by the lake and 80 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 59 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatzo, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
This is the Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC. Need help around the house? Even the handiest do-it-yourselfer needs an extra hand sometimes. Let Home Inspector David Nason help you out during the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
The Fix-It Show is sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction. I'm Libby Collins in for Dayton Kane, along with David Nason.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
And, of course, you on the WTMJ Talk and Text line at 855-616-1620. And this hour, we're joined by Matt Hefter from CertaPro Painters. And, Matt, it's a great day to get your house painted.
Absolutely. The weather is beautiful today.
Right.
And yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Great fix-it day, and as Tom would say, and great day to paint.
And is there a particular mean temperature that you look for those exterior painting jobs?
Well, nowadays with a lot of the manufacturers, they've moved over to low temp paint. So the old school was oil, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's got to be hot, warmer than 55 degrees, right?" Nowadays with low temp paints, you can paint down into the 35 range is what they recommend, is, not going lower than that. But we usually keep it higher than that. We want to make sure you have enough dry time.
Can it be too hot?
It can be too hot. Actually, most failures that we see, and I mean, we do so much volume, we see some failures, right? Mm-hmm. It's usually when it's like mid-July or August when it's so hot and the paint doesn't dry slow enough. It
cures too quick.
Cures too quick, and it doesn't adhere properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then what problems might you have afterwards if it doesn't cure properly?
If it doesn't get a good mechanical bond, it's going to peel. So when it's too hot, we actually shut down, mostly from a safety standpoint. We don't want guys up on the ladders when it's 95 degrees.
Yeah.
And hydration is very important, but staying out of the sun. So
I was going to say, you got to work around the house in the shade.
Yep. The south side of the house or the west side of the house could be, 95, 100 degrees, but on the shade side, it could only be, 80. So
now, conventionally, people think if they have a frame house, they can paint it, but you can paint almost anything.
Yeah, we paint everything from, residential interiors, exteriors. We do garage floor coatings within homes. And what a lot of people don't know is that we actually, about half of our business is commercial painting. So low rise, high rise, condos. We paint just about everything.
Mm-hmm. And if you go to a remodeling magazine, one of the biggest return on investment, they say, is a new garage door. Well, I just had mine painted by CertaPro Painters, and they look like they're brand new. And I still get comments about them, how great they look. They were white, and now they're painted to look like wood with a wood grain, and they look amazing.
How does that work?
Well, we did a wood graining technique at Dave's house, and they do look like wood. And I have the same thing done at my house on my garage doors. You put a base color down. And then you're applying a glazing to do a little bit of a mix between a dark and a light. So you usually want to get that undertone correct on whatever you're trying to match. And then you do a technique, and even sometimes you'll put in, you're putting in graining, and sometimes people want things to look, if it's not a garage door, like knotty and stuff, we can do little knots on doors, and it's truly amazing. I mean, you step back 5 feet and they look like they're wood.
I have an old wood storm door on my back door. It's a full view wood storm door. And I said, can you match that? And you, like you said, you stand back 5 feet. They're not right next to each other, but you can see them, and they match.
It's that genuine. I mean, that amazes me. Now, what kind of garage door do you have?
They're just steel.
They're steel.
It's uninsulated steel. Well, no, they're insulated steel doors.
So you can paint steel to look like wood.
Yep, steel, aluminum, whatever type of wood doors. If you want to, change the look, if they've been previously painted and you want to have more of that stained look to them, you can make them without stripping them. You can make them look just like wood doors.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is, if somebody's had, like, say, vinyl siding put on their house, and after a number of years, you kind of get tired of the color of your house, can that be painted effectively? Yeah,
vinyl siding is something we don't paint a lot just because, it is a maintenance-free product, but sometimes the vinyl starts to fade out over time. And you can paint vinyl. You just got to be careful. You want to use vinyl-safe colors. The key is that you want to pay attention to is that if you have a vinyl that's made in a white color, that is made and it has a certain memory to it. So let's say you paint it, not a lot of people are painting their houses black, dark charcoal gray. You put that paint on that vinyl siding, it's going to heat up, and then it goes back to its original state. So it's going to start to flatten out, like it comes in sheets. So you got to make sure that you're working with a contractor that can go through those scenarios and work with vinyl safe paints. It's not that you can't paint some dark colors. It's just you got to use a different pigment calculation to keep the blacks, because the blacks will attract the heat, into the tint, and that's what creates it, the siding to heat up and then kind of start to warp or go back to its flat state.
We're here with Matt Hefter. He is from Serta Painters, and whether it's an outdoor project or an indoor project, or we talked a little bit about garages. We'll talk about that as well with Matt. If you want to get through on the WTMJ Talk and Text line, that number is 855-616-1620. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Great day for painting. Those temperatures are going to get into the upper 70s, a little bit warmer as you go further inland. Currently, we are up to 61 degrees at 8:13 on WTMJ.
This is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Salute to Service highlights the heroic stories of first responders right here in Wisconsin. Thank you to all of those who nominated your heroes. Listen to all of the incredible stories on our Salute to Service special program Monday, May 27th from 9 to 11 a.m. And again at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. we will air the best moments from the entire week. It's Salute to Service, only heard here on WTMJ.
It's Steve Scaffidi's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank and sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
They'd found a quaint little home, a stone's throw away from the park. The landscaping was well kept, and the inside was clean as a whistle. But it was outdated, and being that this was their first home, they didn't have a lot of extra cash to do a big remodeling job. You see, the home's living room had a wall of mirrors. He wanted to keep them up, but she was unsure. I told her how beveling the edges of the mirrors would add a hint of elegance, while keeping the spacious look that the mirrors provided. And I asked her to visit our showroom, so I could show her exactly what I meant. Turns out she loved the look, and now, even with the new remodeling job they're doing, the beveled mirrors are there to stay. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service, and glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
The freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle or 7-ounce can, selected varieties, Coke products, or mini cans, 4 for $17. 0.77 to 3.4-ounce selected varieties, McCormick Grill Mate spices, 2 for $4. 5 to 8 ounce selected varieties Sargento Deli style slices, 2 for $6. 20 ounce selected varieties Hunt's Ketchup, $1.49. 9.43 to 12 ounce selected varieties Hebrew National Beef Franks, 2 for $9.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
New residential, commercial, or multifamily construction? Call Quality Heating before you begin. Starting a new remodel? Pre-planning any new construction with a qualified HVAC design engineer assures your comfort will be at its maximum. Because the last thing you want your new project to be is uncomfortable. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. From Sheboygan to Illinois to Madison and all of greater southeastern Wisconsin, the man in the red van can give you a master plan.
Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
Her bedroom and back was always warm, while the one in front was as cold as an igloo. She asked me what she should do, and I told her, Mary, zoning will solve your issue. At Quality Heating, the man in the red van knows how to even out your home's temperature and take care of humidity or lack thereof. Heck, you spend most of your life there. Why not maximize its comfort? This is Anthony Zanevsky. Ask the man in the red van about zoned heating and cooling ideas for your home.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
From a leaky pipe to finishing your basement, The Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
David Nason's here. I'm Libby Collins, and we've got Matt Hefter from CertaPro Painters. And we were talking about some of the surfaces that you can paint. A lot of people out there have those cedar homes. Now, those don't take paint. Those take more of a stain. Explain the difference, Matt.
Yeah, typically with a rough cedar home, you're going to want to use a penetrating stain. And the reason for that is rough cedar is fibrous. And so if you paint it and paint it and paint it, you're building up mill thickness. Eventually it becomes too heavy for those wood fibers, and then it starts to want to peel, and it also traps a little bit of moisture behind the chips, so behind the paint coatings. So literally, sometimes you'll go to a house and a customer has painted it over and over and over and not stained it, and you can grab a paint chip and walk it down the side of the house and just peel it completely back. It's like almost peeling a glove off the house. Whereas stains, both semi-transparent, semi-solid, and solids, they're made to just kind of fade away over time. So they don't last as long or retain their color as long, but they're made to kind of chalk and fade away, whereas, a paint coating's made to just kind of put a protective coating over the top of the cedar.
How long should you expect your exterior paint job to work?
If you're looking for a typical paint job, if you're painting, it's going to vary by surface, but like a rough cedar, if you're going to stain rough cedar, you might be somewhere between 6-8 years. With a steel or aluminum, you might not have to repaint it, depending on the color and fade, but maybe 10-15 years. They can even go longer than that if it's a white house or something like that, and you don't notice that the paint coating's starting to oxidize a little bit. So, and the one thing I always tell customers in Wisconsin, deck floors, that is called a maintainable surface. Mm-hmm. You should never expect anything to last much more than 2 years or so.
Sure.
I use a product called Penafin, and I oil my deck. So I do that literally every other year, and it gets a full coat of oil. But
what's the difference between oil and a stain?
Well, it is an oil stain, but it's a very translucent stain, so it has very little pigment. And what you're really looking for, the look that I'm looking for, is more that rustic look, where you're applying the stain and you're letting it, basically it starts to turn darker and darker and darker, so it starts to patina, as they call it. It gets blacker and blacker and blacker. And that's the look that we wanted on our house, and it's starting to become a little bit more popular, the rustic look, right? And then as far as semi-transparent stains, and then I would never suggest typically painting a deck. There are some rare cases, but you really want to stain a deck, or you're just going to be chasing peeling paint forever, because it's just the horizontal surface. It traps moisture and snow and everything. It's a maintainable surface.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
And in that, between those oil coatings that you're putting on, are you power washing at all?
Yeah, I'm just rinsing it off because I don't want to take the color out, right? I'm rinsing it off and just kind of making sure that the surface is nice and clean. And I don't have to hit every single surface. Like the verticals, a lot of times it's like every 3 to 4 years. The horizontals, so the top rail, the deck boards, those are definitely every 2 years for me.
Okay.
We've got a question here on our talk and text line. They want to know, can you use a pressure washer to clean that?
Yeah, I mean, pressure washing, the word pressure washer it's misleading because we're looking more to rinse down the surfaces. There are times when a pressure washer is used for like removing paint, or if I've got to restore a deck and it was semi-transparent stained and we're looking to make the wood look brand new again and start over, we'll use a high pressure washer and walk down the board by board. Literally, you know, it might take us 7-8 hours to pressure wash that deck. But then the wood is back to its original. Then we'll go across it and just sand it lightly because a lot of times it'll raise the grain. We'll sand it real lightly and stain it, and then your deck looks like brand new. Whereas most decks that we're going to be staining, we're just trying to rinse the dirt and get it to a nice clean surface. Like Tom used to always say, clean, dry, and dull, right?
All right, we're here with Matt Hefter. He's with CertaPro, and if you want to get through, we've got the WTMJ talk and text line open for you at 855-616-1620. Got a question coming up about paint on your metal gutter and fascia. We'll get to that and so much more right after this. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey! Summer painting can be brutal. If you're tired of painting year after year, go Rhino. One homeowner said they had a contemporary stucco finish with fading paint that was starting to look like garbage. So they went with Rhino Shield after discovering it's better than paint. Thanks to Rhino Shield, they saw savings on their energy bills. And your home's exterior doesn't matter. Wood, brick, steel, and even vinyl. You won't have to paint again for 25 years, guaranteed. Now until June 21st, get 15% off with 12 months same as cash financing. Visit rhinoshieldwis.com or call 262-327-6261.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, with a tip for today's home shoppers. You already know inventory is low and both competition and home prices are high. That's probably why you should not go with your bank or your real estate agent's mortgage pal for your pre-approval. You see, the banks have lots of branches, fancy headquarters, vice presidents and assistant vice presidents, and the loan officers who get referrals from real estate agents, they're typically very highly paid. Who do you think pays for all that extra expense? Turns out it's you. High overhead and high compensation naturally translate into higher closing costs. At Accunet, our extreme efficiency and low overhead mean your closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and other lenders for exactly the same rate. Don't light your hard-earned money on fire. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button and put the money you'll save in closing costs towards something for your new home. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Now, back to the Fix It Show on 620 WTMJ.
We've got Matt Heffer here. He is with CertaPro Painters, along with David Dasa. I'm Libby Collins. Let's go to one of your calls. We've got Paul in Milwaukee, and you've got a question for us on the Fix It Show, Paul. Hello, Paul.
Two-part question. Part one is, should I reseal my asphalt driveway? It's a little stained, but it seems like it's in pretty good shape. And then the second question is, I have a stamped concrete patio. It's colorized. Should that be sealed with a clear coat?
So I'll answer your first question, and I'll let Matt answer the second one. So the asphalt drive, definitely you should get a crack sealer, seal any cracks that might be there. Do that first, and then put the sealant over that. And that should be done probably not every year, but maybe every 2 years or so. Your driveway would kind of tell you when it needs to be done. When it starts looking gray, you should have that sealed. Definitely want to make sure. What we're trying to do is keep water from getting in the cracks and causing more problems. But I'll let Matt answer your question about the patio.
Yeah, on the patio stamped concrete, you definitely want to use clear sealer, and it just depends on how much sun is on it. But it'll, again, like Dave was saying, it'll tell you, roughly. You don't want to wait too long because then you start to lose the color. But if you every 2 years or so, you just put a clear sealer over the top of it.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate
thanks
your
for
call.
calling. Thanks for hanging on.
If you want to get through, we've got the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. A text on this, somebody's got a paint peeling on the metal gutter and on their fascia. Can that be repainted, or does it need to be replaced, Matt?
Yeah, we see often enough where the original manufacturer's coating peels on a gutter, a fascia board, even on siding, and that can absolutely be. We use a high pressure washer with an oscillating tip to kind of blow off that paint, and then after that is done, obviously we come over the top of it with a primer coat, and then put a couple coats of paint on it, and then that'll last a long time.
All right, here's another question for you. Somebody had a contractor, and they painted their cedar pergola. Is it pergola or pergola? I always wonder about that.
Yeah, I think it's pergola.
And they also painted the porch rails, but they heard you say that cedar should be stained. Now it's white, and they want to fix it. Can that be done?
You can strip it. It's a tedious process, and nowadays, I mean, you can't use, like the old days, they used to use chemicals with we'll just leave it at that. They're
Right.
nasty chemicals, not good for you.
PFAS or whatever they call that
yeah,
stuff now.
And so now it's more like citrus-based products and things like that to remove. But you can strip it and let it, if you let it wear and tear a little bit, and then it's a little bit easier to strip it, and then you can pressure wash and bring it back to its original.
Now, do you do that at
Absolutely.
CertaPro?
We do just about everything. Like I always say, we paint everything but toenails.
Darn it, I needed a pedicure.
So that means they do fingernails.
Well, you know what? It depends on the customer and how long they've been a customer.
But now, if we want to get in touch with you, what do we do?
You just give us a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. Most people nowadays, about 90% of our customers, they just go right onto our website, schedule their appointment. We come out, give them a consultation. It's free, no charge. Give them an estimate, and then, if they want to go forward, we can go ahead and get them scheduled right away.
How far back are you right now? What's your lead time?
It depends on the type of project, but not too bad. I would say, 2 weeks to 4 weeks. We're doing really good with capacity. We have just a massive team of painters these days out there painting, and so unless it's a very specialized project, it's usually we can respond pretty quickly.
Okay.
And materials are pretty easy to get. I mean, most of the time you're mixing paint. So.
Well, during COVID, it was a whole science that was added to my business about getting raw materials in advance and making sure that we never ran out of paint. Nowadays, pretty much everything's back up to par, and you can get a hold of any type of paint, coatings that you need.
One of the questions on the text line is: do you use a particular kind of paint?
No, we use all different manufacturers. We really want to specify the best paint system or coating for the particular problem we're trying to solve or the surface that we're trying to maintain. So we use everything from Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, some Hallman Lindsay, PPG, Petafin. I mean, there's just all kinds. There's so many manufacturers out there,
and these are all major names in the industry. They've been around a long time.
Yeah, I mean, all the paint coating manufacturers, obviously a lot of consolidation that happened in the last 80 years in paint, and a lot of brands that have been purchased through the years by other manufacturers. So we just want to spec the best product for quality, and then obviously make sure that we're working with the manufacturer that works with us on discounts so we can pass that discount along to the customers.
Matt Hefter from CertaPro is here with us, and we're going to have more questions. We've got a lot of them. Deck questions, stucco questions. It's all ahead on the Fix It Show. Right now it's 8:30, and from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, here's Jessica Gatso.
Thanks, Libby. Unhealthy air quality this weekend. Much of southeast Wisconsin expected to reach the level of unhealthy for sensitive groups today. The DNR says it's due to unhealthy ozone levels that are worsened by a lake breeze and warm temperatures. Those with asthma and other lung disease, children and older adults, as well as people active outdoors, should reduce extended exertion outside today. No more checked baggage on the Hiawatha train starting Monday. Amtrak confirms to WTMJ that the change is due to equipment issues, and they don't have the right rail cars to routinely offer the service and want to be consistent across all trains on the Hiawatha service. Carrying on bicycles will still be allowed, according to an Amtrak spokesperson. This change will not affect the Empire Builder, which still allows checked baggage, or the brand new Borealis line between Chicago and Minneapolis, which debuts Tuesday and was never planned to offer checked bags. Milwaukee Public Schools Head Start program funding is suspended starting on Monday. The Administration of Children and Families says federal financial assistance for the program showed deficiencies between June 2022 and May 2024. MPS said they worked to identify and correct any issues found, and they're working to make sure all future plans meet federal requirements. MPS is assuring parents and families that all programs and activities will continue through the end of this school year. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We've got another lane blocked, this time on 41-894 South, about 3/4 of a mile beyond the ramp from Beloit Road. Looks like the right lane is blocked there. And still looking at a lane blocked on 43 northbound. Looks like the right lane at Good Hope Road.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Taking a look at your WTMJ forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 77 by the lake and 85 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a chance for an isolated shower, a low of 61. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 72 by the lake and 80 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 62 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:32.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was time for us. Our house was 20 plus years old, and the garage doors were getting dated. They were dinged up, and they were really hurting the value and the look of our house. That's why we called J.D. Griffiths, a local company. They've been at it in Milwaukee for more than 70 years, providing premier garage doors and building detached garages. We've got our new doors now, and they pop. I still got neighbors talking to me about it. Now, J.D. Griffiths does have an exclusive offer right now for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you can save $100 on your garage door opener. Just call 414-362-7222 and mention me, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead, or fill out the form at jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ to schedule your free at-home estimate and claim your deal. That number again, 414-362-7222. J.D. Griffiths.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live, which is an active one.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside.
For the first time, our whole house actually feels like the same climate.
And no drafts. It's a game changer.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella, and if you order today, you get 0% interest for up to 48 months. When it comes to replacing or upgrading your windows and doors, you want to be confident about your decisions. With Pella Design Works, you can see what your home could look like before you buy. Black frame windows or white, vinyl, wood, or fiberglass. Bring your vision to life and rest assured it's the perfect style for your home. Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 48 months when you order by May 31st. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. That's 5/31/2024.
This is The Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
And welcome back to the final half hour of the Fix It Show. Dayton Kane's off today. I'm Libby Collins along with David Nason. We are joined this hour by Matt Hefter from CertaPro. And we've got a lot of questions coming in for you, by the way, Matt, on the WTMJ Talk and text line. Let's see, we've got somebody who wants to know about small jobs.
Yeah, we take
Do you do 'em?
We take care of small jobs. I mean, that's how I started my business. I literally, back in 2007, I went door to door begging people to let me paint their front doors and put a sign in their yard for $50. And that's how we started our business, literally going door to door. And now we've obviously grown to the point that we are today. And so small projects are still a very important part of our business because, you know, it might start with a small project and then the whole house needs to be done later. So
What kind of expertise do your painters have?
our painters have been painting for a long time. We have a few junior guys where they come in and they learn the trade, but we're usually looking for experience. We want to make sure that, you know, we're putting quality products and doing quality processes in our homes. So we're usually trying to make sure that we bring some of the best guys in the industry to our team.
Yeah, and then another text here is like, do you have to sand and prime before you paint, and what kind of paint? I mean, so in my opinion, with a lot of things in painting, and I think what they're getting to in the question here is, it's all about the prep.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah,
all,
I mean,
but mostly.
I mean, typically, it's going to depend on the surface. Like Tom used to say, clean, dry, dull. So if it's a shiny surface, you're going to want to sand it. If it's a surface that has a slickness to it and it's very smooth, you want to roughen it up a little bit, and that helps achieve the mechanical bond. What you do want to make sure that you're careful about is that if your home is older than 1978, that you test your home for lead. If you have lead paint on your house, you do not want to sand that. I mean, that dust, it takes literally a granule of sugar to affect the child's learning. So you just want to really stay away from sanding. And there's certain leads, we're lead safe certified, so we follow all the procedures of the EPA and the Department of Health when it comes to lead paint.
All right. Well, here's somebody with a brick home, and they say that they were always led to believe you can't paint a brick home.
I think that was our grandpa yelling in the background, "We are not painting the brick," because it was, you know, truly maintenance free back in the days, right? But you can paint brick. There's no problems with that. Matter of fact, what's been really, really popular is lime wash. So lime wash
What's lime wash?
Lime wash is it's like almost like a cementitious coating that applies, and it just gets it almost becomes one with the brick. And it's a look, so there's a lot of different techniques with it where you're applying it and then you're washing some of it off to give it some of that old aged look. So you'll see this in older communities quite often. But so lime washing is something we do to brick, and also just painting. And it's amazing when you take a before and after picture. Let's picture just a 1960s ranch home, that orange brick, and then you've got like maybe white trim or whatever, and you paint that brick, it's like your house just became built last year, brand new. And it's amazing how it transforms the look of a home and brings it up to, and as far as like resale, you know, it's one of the lowest cost ways to upgrade your home and prepare it for resale.
But as with anything, siding, trim, or anything, you can't paint over something that's not ready to be painted. So if there's loose mortar or some other kind of damage, that's something you can do before you paint it.
Yeah, we take care of any masonry repairs, tuck pointing, or whatever has to happen. Even brick replacement we've had to do sometimes in the lower corners. It'll start to deteriorate if it's too close to the soil. We'll replace those bricks and then obviously paint the brick.
Here's somebody else with a question. They say their home was built in the late 70s, and they've got that imitation stucco, and it's kind of getting a crack. It doesn't go all the way through, but they want to know, is that something that you can repair and paint over?
Typically, the answer is going to be yes. The best thing to do is obviously have us out for an estimate. If you give us a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA or go to our website, CertaPro.com, we can come out free, no charge, and give you our consultation and tell you what you can do and what you can't do.
All right. We are here with Matt Hefter. He's with CertaPro. We've got a lot of questions coming in on the WTMJ Talk and Text line. 855-616-1620. That's the number to call if you want to get through. And today is going to be a great day, not just for painting, but getting outside. It's going to be in the upper 70s if you're near the lake. As you go further inland, we're going to see the mid-80s. Our temperature right now, 64 degrees at 840 on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is it true the Hasselus mattress showrooms don't have any employees?
That's right. Try and buy with no pushy sales guy.
Okay.
Once you find the perfect beauty rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper, you can order by phone, online, or at our handy in-store kiosk.
Well, that's great, but
since we don't have to pay employee commissions, you will pay way less. Our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
Okay, but
through Monday, buy your new Serta Perfect Sleeper, Beauty Rest, or Sealy Posturepedic mattress, and we'll give you a free box spring or an equal amount off an adjustable base. Free next day delivery, too. Does that answer your questions?
yes, except for one.
Shoot.
If Hasselus mattress has no employees,
Yeah?
then who are you?
I'm just the ruggedly handsome spokesperson.
But this is radio.
Exactly. I'm told I have a face for it.
Right.
Find a self-service showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
BizExpo is May 22nd at Brookfield Conference Center. Learn from the experts at the strategy seminars and keynote on building a legendary brand. Connect with business leaders and customers at BizExpo May 22nd. Register at biztimes.com/BizExpo.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With spring in the air, a young man's fancy turns to ceiling fans. And at BBC, he'll see all the best quality fans and their newest styles. The new fan electronics provide a great method of moving air, and with LED lights, they use less electricity than ever. We have fans in all sizes, from 24 to 96 inches wide, and their motors are warranted for life. At BBC, we advise you on the right fan for your needs, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday 10 to 4 and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
From a leaky pipe to finishing your basement, The Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
Back on the Fix-It Show. I'm Libby Collins, and for Dayton Kane, David Nason, of course, is here. And we're joined by Matt Hefter from CertaPro as well. And if you want to get through on the WTMJ Talk and Text line, it's 855-616-1620. We've been talking a lot about exterior painting. But we got some questions about the interior.
Right. And a lot of people have older houses out there, and many older houses have radiators. So just to paraphrase the question we got in here, can you paint radiators, and how should they be painted?
Yeah, we can paint radiators. There's still quite a few old homes that have the hydronic
vertical fin tile.
Yep, you got it. And so you just want to make sure that you prep it properly and you use the right paint. You don't want to use, I know in the question they asked about aerosol not usually. Aerosol cans apply paint at a very, very thin mill thickness. So there are appropriate applications for it, but I would say that typically it's going to be something that we're going to spray not through aerosol, but through an airless sprayer, so we can build up the mill thickness. And you want to use a paint system that is made for heat. So just like paint that goes on your grill, it's different than paint that goes on your walls.
All right, another question about the interior. Somebody wants to know, do you paint bathtubs?
We don't, but there are companies out there that do that. It's kind of a cool process. So they etch the surface, and then they mask everything off and they spray it, and they're usually pretty reasonable, under $600, $700 or so.
I think there's somebody, the last Beautiful Finishes, I think one's called. If you need your tub painted, if you do a search for Beautiful Finishes in Milwaukee.
So now I can say we paint everything but toenails and bathtubs. That's two now things we don't paint.
Now, what about those nail pops that come in on the interior when you've got the drywall and you see, that little circle that comes through? Can you fix that so it goes away forever?
Yeah, you pull the nail pop, right, and then you just drive 2 screws to the next of it, and catching obviously, something behind there, whether it's lathing or if it's on a ceiling, you're catching a rafter or something like that. You want to make sure that you apply 2 screws on each side of it, and then you do the drywall or plaster repair, and then go ahead and prime and paint.
All right. And what about wainscoting and things like that? Do you take care of that?
Yeah, we do a lot of millwork finishes, kitchen cabinets, wainscoting, baseboards, crown molding. We do a ton of both in latex products as well as oil-based finishes and as well as urethanes.
Well, you mentioned the kitchen cabinets, and I know about 5 years ago, that was a thing. Everybody was getting their kitchen cabinets painted. Do you still have a lot of requests for that?
It's still, it's a huge part of our business. We actually take the cabinet doors back. We bring them back to our spray booth. It allows us on most cabinet doors have floating panels, so you got to kind of shrink the doors a little bit to make sure that when you refinish them, that there doesn't become this little line around the framing of the cabinet. So we typically we'll take the doors back to the shop, and then we do the boxes on site, and it's a very, very big thing. And what has changed is painting kitchen cabinets white has moved to putting color on the kitchen cabinet doors. So people are doing a lot of dark colors, and they're doing their island in a completely different color to show contrast. We even had customers that have done the doors in a different color than the boxes. So there's a lot you can do to your kitchen to really dress it up and maybe take care of some dinged up, banged up cabinets instead of taking on a full kitchen remodel project.
Well, I know I'm one of those people that when I decide to paint something, it takes me forever to decide what color, what shade. Now, is it this shade of white or is it that shade of white? Do you have somebody who can help make choices about color for your home?
Yeah, all of our consultants are trained in helping and assisting with colors. So we help with colors. We also have software that allows for customers to be able to take a picture of their kitchen cabinets, and then they can just literally insert and change the colors. And we will also do rendering service. So if it's more complicated and too much for the customer, we'll actually do the rendering so they can see what it's going to look like before it's done, right?
And that's also on your walls, the interior walls and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Walls, exterior of homes, interior of homes. We use a product called Home Design and have a partnership with them. So if you want to see what the color looks like beforehand, we turn that tool over to you when you come out and give you a consultation.
What if you're very high maintenance? And I'm speaking for myself.
No.
And it's got to be a certain shade. And, maybe it's not just something that is easily, that you go to the paint store and you say, oh, yeah, that's the color. Can you work to get that exact shade that people want?
Yeah, we don't do it so much anymore because we used to, back in the old days, we had tint on site and we could tint and stuff, but
custom mix right there.
Yeah, nowadays the colors are so precise and so on that usually when you go grab a color card, it is that color. But if you want it 10% lighter or something in between color, we can certainly do that.
Yeah.
All right, and here's another question. Somebody's got a basement where there's been paint on there and they can't figure out the color for touch-ups. Is that something you can assist with? If there's already a color there, people want to have it, can you match that?
We can probably get pretty close, but if we can't get a paint chip, or we can't pull out, like sometimes if customers are adamant about that, we can actually take like a little hole saw, right?
Cut a piece of the drywall
drywall out. and then we can computer match that perfect, and then we just do the repair and then touch that up. But typically what I found is, unless you have the same paint can that's sitting there with the same sheen and the same everything, you're better off just repainting it. And then now you know exactly what you have. You keep that can around for touch-ups.
Sure. What about wood floors, like hardwood floors? I see people every once in a while painting kind of decorative. They'll do a border or something on hardwood floors.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we could do that. I don't recall having the request too often. It's usually when you're in an old farmhouse and they've got some, a porch leading out or something, and they have floorboards that are painted, but it's pretty rare.
Okay.
Matt Hefter is here from CertaPro, and if you've got some last-minute questions, we've got a couple more minutes left on our WTMJ talk and text line to help you out at 855-616-1620. It's going to be sunny today. Temperatures up in the upper 70s near the lake, mid-80s as you go further inland, 63 degrees at 8:50 on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. We're all living longer. That means in all of our families, people are facing Alzheimer's, dementia, and other memory-related issues. Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They're Wisconsin-based, 14 in our state, 4 in our area. I've been in their buildings. They're fantastic. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, empathy and compassion at the core. It's Azura.
And that's the best thing about Capital's AC Beyondification.
Absolutely.
I agree. Hey, Merle, what you got? What's this? A screenplay?
Let me see this. Captain Capital, Heat and Air Hero.
That's so awesome, Merle.
Hang on. I've been writing a screenplay like this.
For years.
It's an epic, and it's Capital Man, not Captain Capital. Yes, of course he restores your air conditioner to like new condition.
Says here, Captain Capital has a deep clean device.
Aha! Capital Man deep cleans your system with his laser beam hands.
What?
I'm developing a sidekick. He always does the comprehensive safety checks. You wrote yourself in as the sidekick?
As long as it gets across how Capital's AC Beyondification saves the day.
And how you want to do it before summer hits.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it's great.
Laura, Seth, I need a moment with Merle, please.
Schedule your AC Beyondification today online at callcapitalcares.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Eric Brown and his crew from Siding Unlimited can fix whatever's wrong with the outside of your house. How do you know what's wrong with it? Well, look for these trouble signs. On your windows, paint peeling, wood rot or damage from condensation? How well do they operate? Got mold on the storm windows? Siding have any dents, holes, or chips, paint, or color issues? Is the caulking cracked? How's the flashing? Roof look okay? How about your doors? Decks are another place for critical inspection. Maybe you'd just like to have a new one. Eric is a regular here on the Fix-It Show. You regular listeners are aware of his expertise. He's president of Siding Unlimited, but that's not a desk job. He's out there working with the crews, inspecting people's structure problems and fixing them. Siding Unlimited will fix yours too. Make a note to contact Siding Unlimited online at sidingunlimited.com or see Siding Unlimited's unique outside-in showroom near Gerke's Corners in Brookfield.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Now, back to the Fix-It Show on 620 WTMJ.
8:54, and we've got Matt Hefter here from CertaPro. I should have mentioned this earlier, Matt, but my life changed when you guys came out to do my garage floor, because now it actually feels like it's part of the house.
Yeah, we love doing the one-day garage floors, and grinding down the floor. The before and afters are amazing with bare concrete and going over to a flake system on the floors. They literally transform the entire room.
But the other part is it's at least in my estimation, you don't track the dirt into the house like if you have the concrete. It just keeps your whole house cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the last two houses, we've had garage floor coatings on them, and you are right, because it seals the surface, it keeps a cleaner surface, whereas typically with bare concrete, there's this constant process of lime working itself to the surface, and then you track that into the garage. The one thing that I've noticed with our customers is that they talk about how they mop their floors now. It does become an extension of the home. Literally in my garage, we don't park our cars in there. We have a ping pong table, we have a TV, we've got cabinets for tinkering around and working on stuff. It's a project space for us and an entertainment space.
Well, I find with my husband, because of course you have to keep them in shape, it keeps him from putting too much stuff in the garage, because he wants it to look good. He wants it to look nice from the driveway.
Yeah. It literally, there's three reasons why people typically get their garage floors done. One is that they just want everything to be clean. It's tracking the dirt in the house, right? Another one is an extension of a home. You have a party outside or whatever, and you want to make sure that, you got food in the garage, out of the way of the bugs, right? And then the third reason is literally that extension of the home where you set up your ping pong table, or you work on projects out in your garage, and you want to have that nice clean floor, especially if you're going to lay down on the ground and work on something. You get up and you're just completely dirty. Well, with a
I'm not laying down on the garage,
but with a installed garage floor system, you can lay down on the floor. You get up, you don't have any dirt on you.
Yeah, it really does make a difference. All right, if anybody out there wants questions answered about getting their garage floors done, interior, exterior, anything to do with paint, how do we get in touch with you, Matt?
You just give us a call at 1-800-GO-CERTA. We serve everywhere that TMJ can expand to, and as well as you can just schedule an estimate right online today at CertaPro.com, CERTAPRO.com.
All right, Matt, it's great to have you here.
Nice seeing you guys again.
And David, of course, if anybody's looking for home inspections.
Sure. Give me a call, 262. I didn't have my mic on. Boy, 262-443-8958 is my number, or bestinspectionsllc.com.
And, of course, Dayton Kane will be back with you.
He'll be back next Saturday. Memorial Day weekend, yeah.
I'm Libby Collins. I'm going to be back after the news with the Fox World Travel Show right here on WTMJ. And the Fix-It Show is sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction.
This has been the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.